Greeting colleagues from the PRMG6034 Project Governance Values and Ethics course. This presentation seeks to uncover the impact project governance has on project performance and success. It was prepared by Group 1 members, Maret Madril, Stacey James Harry, Afia Jones Pohadas and Shema Sayers, submitted to Mr. Sherwin Cambridge on October 30, 2019. Ethics and project governance are two interrelated disciplines. An organization that follows ethical practices in all its activities is likely to follow the best project governance practices and maintain high project performance. Ethics refers to the study of standards of conduct and moral principles that govern a person's behavior. Gino 2011. Project Management Book of Knowledge Guide 2013, Moss Alamander Rafa 2017 and Muller 2009 all agree that project governance is the alignment of project objectives with the overall strategy of an organization. This presentation consists of four main topic areas, each of which will be discussed in great detail. 1. An analysis and synthesis of resources from the modules. 2. Background information of the topic and principal schools of thought. 3. An evaluation of the main concepts and their relationship to the success factors for projects and organizational governance and ethics. And lastly, the application of concepts to organizational governance strategy. An analysis and synthesis of resources from the modules. Module 1 Unit 1 and Unit 2 explains what is governance and its importance, what is good governance, the roles and responsibility within a governance structure, and the integration in an organizational environment. As stipulated by Banks 2016, governance not only ensures that a project is aligned to project objective but also ensures that the project is sustainable, feasible, and does not deviate away from the proposed objectives. Forming a governance structure is useless without knowledge of what good governance is. According to the United Nations ND as stipulated by Kelly 2010, there are 8 characteristics of good governance. Participatory is key to good governance. Consensus-oriented is the mediation of different interests. Accountable, who is responsible. Transparent ensures that decisions are made in accordance to regulations, and communication should flow to each party who might be impacted by a decision. Responsive means that response should be granted to all stakeholders within a time frame. Effective and efficient ensures that results are produced and meets the stakeholders' needs while making best use of available resources. Equitable and inclusive ensures that all members feel inclusive. There should be opportunities to improve each other's well-being. And lastly, it must follow a rule of law. This is a legal framework that is impartially enforced. This module also explains that there are many important roles in project governance. However, as stipulated by Ali 2015, the most vital roles that maintains and enforces project governance are sponsor. They provide oversight to the project and keep stakeholders inclusive of what is happening. They are known as the strategic direction. Steering committee and PMO. These are the accountable for managing issues, monitoring risks, schedule, cost and timeline. They are known as the operational direction. Project manager. Known as the tactical direction, executes tasks in accordance to the project objectives. Module 2 Unit 3 explored the importance of accountability, the application of governance to the life cycle of projects, and the governance framework domains. Accountability incorporates organizational methodology to ensure that roles are defined to support decision-making and ownership for all involved. It guarantees that there is control, transparency, responsibility, and management of a project. Pratt 2011. There are 3 levels in the life cycle of a governance framework, according to Kelly 2010. The top level, which is called corporate governance, is the level which consists of a leadership team who makes decisions that are in the best interest of an organization. This team is strategically updated about performance via reports. The middle level is project governance. This level defines the level of responsibility regarding the execution of a project. This is a critical level because it defines the reporting requirements to the top-level resource to ensure that performance is at its peak. Lastly, the lower level, known as the delivery capability level. This is the lowest level of a governance model but also the most critical. This is where work is planned, executed, tested and deployed. It is the most critical of the three because at this point, measurable outcomes can be produced. Pratt 2011. Moreover, this module highlights the implementation steps in the governance process in a project's life cycle. Assess, which is the start of a project. It assesses the governance policies and procedures, identifies project governance sponsor, provides resources, and approves the governance charter. The charter is an important document because it provides oversight, control, and alignment of project activities to support organizational strategy. This document is the protocols used to guide project governance, outline the governing body and their responsibilities, assign resources and governance functions, and provides linkage to an existing organizational governance structure. The next step is planning, which is the preparation of the project. This step establishes the governance structure, risk escalation, and change request, establishes project quality and approves the governance plans. The third step is implementation, carrying out the work. It entails reviewing and authorizing project goals, performing performance reviews, ensuring compliance with the reporting processes and engaging key stakeholders. The final step is improvement, closing the project. This steps performs the lessons learned synopsis, ensures project acceptance and delivery and authorizes project closure. Lastly, this unit highlights the four governance framework domains which enables the core governance functions of oversight, control, integration, and decision-making to achieve project success. The four domains are: governance alignment domain, which are functions or processes that creates and maintains an integrated framework. Governance risk domain identifies and resolves threats and opportunities to ensure balance of risks and rewards. Governance performance domain ensures measurement and evaluation of KPIs against business value. Lastly, governance communication domain disseminates information, engages stakeholders, and ensures organizational change. Module 3 Unit 5 explores project governance and project selection and the influence of governance on project success. This module focuses on project governance and project selection. It requires leaders to have knowledge of techniques in choosing the right project, competence to understand the organization, including the governance structure and how it links to governance, methods of project selection and benefits derived after the implementation of a project. The critical success factors will be explored in depth later in the presentation. However, here is a short synopsis of some factors of governance that guarantees success. It has a single point of accountability. It outlines roles, responsibilities, and relationships among project stakeholders. Resolution mechanism. Lastly, information dissemination and communication. Due to the effect of globalization and the complexity and magnitude of projects, there is a driving force towards convergence of governance regulations around the world. While these modules each contain different information pertaining to what governance is, the benefits derived from it, the role of the framework and the linkage to a project's life cycle, they all have the same conclusion. Project governance is the key element that contributes to the success factors and performance of a project. Background information of the topic and principal schools of thought. Gillen and O'Sullivan 2004 defines corporate governance as the answers to three very distinct and specific questions. Who exercises control over corporate activity, what do they do with their power, and lastly, who benefits from the way these individuals exercise their power. Effective project governance refers to the processes and the relationships that exist within a project and between the project team, management, stakeholders, and clients. It is an extremely complex task as corporate governance is influenced by varying legal, economic, political, and historical factors. History has revealed that there is simply a never-ending evolution of theories or models of corporate governance. Abdullah and Valentine 2009. The incorporation of governance into the project management field reflects a widening of focus away from the day-to-day technical, operational and supporting activities that need to be fulfilled to ensure the delivery of project outcomes. Today's issues surrounding corporate governance, ethics, and how they impact the organization's social and corporate responsibilities are very much unavoidable. However, the fundamental theories in corporate governance that range from the agency, stewardship, and stakeholder theories as well as ethical theories such as business ethics theory, virtue theory, all provide a means for each organization to find ways in which to tailor their ethical governance standards through the development of their individual code of ethics. Agency theory. Abdullah and Valentine 2009 described agency theory as the relationship between the principals, such as shareholders, and agents such as company executives and managers. In this particular theory, the shareholders, who are the principals and owners of the company, hire the agents to do work. The principals delegate the day-to-day running of the business to the directors or managers. Although managers may have their own individual interests and opportunistic behavior and oftentimes fall short of the expectations of shareholders, the agency theory was introduced to show separation of ownership and control. Bimani 2008. Stewardship theory. Davis, Scoorman and Donaldson 1997 defined stewardship theory as a steward protects and maximizes shareholders' wealth through the firm's performance because by doing so, the steward's utility functions are maximized. Stewards are usually company executives and managers that work for shareholders and mainly functions to protect and make profits for the shareholders. This theory is informed by intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, power, trust, and management culture, whereas an organization entrusts and empowers workers to carry out tasks. Stakeholder theory. Stakeholder theory can be defined as any group or individual who can affect or is affected by the achievements of the organization's objectives. Shareholder theorists suggest that managers have a network of relationships to serve in their organizations, which include suppliers, employees, etc. Wheeler et al. 2003 states that this particular type of theory was conceptualized from a combination of both the sociological and organizational disciplines. According to Becker 2013, approaches to project governance are categorized into three schools of thought. They are: Single Firm, SF, Governance School. This is focused on projects or programs within a single autonomous company. These organizations are far more concerned with their internal projects and have very little concern for external engagement with clients and customers. Projects that come under the SF school usually focuses on the improvement of the internal organizational performance so that they are properly aligned to the firm's objectives to ensure return on investments and adherence to internal policies. The diagram below shows SF's top-down approach, where project governance is only seen in strategic and technical levels. Multi-firm, MF, Governance School. While this school also functions at the strategic and technical levels, MF concentrates on the contractual relationships among different firms participating in single or multiple projects. All firms participating can be represented from all areas of society, including non-profit organizations, profit or government entities. Large Capital, LC, Governance School. This school tends to view projects as goal-directed, temporary organizations that have to define appropriate governance frameworks within which project decisions can be made. An evaluation of main concepts and their relationship to success factors for project performance and organizational governance and ethics. In recent years, there has been an increasing demand for strong project governance and ethical practices. Many researchers have highlighted the importance of good governance and ethics and have focused their attention on linking good governance, ethics, project success, and performance. The major determinant of project success is an effective project governance structure. Leckler and Dver 2010. Since project governance is aligned to corporate governance and good corporate governance is related to management performance, a link between project governance and project success should be created. Project governance should be tailored to an organization's specific needs since there is no one model or framework that suits all organizations. According to Ali 2015, there are 8 mandatory components which must be explored and analyzed for the success of any project. Governance model. When defining an adequate governance model that complements the organization, the project manager needs to take into consideration the amount of rigor to be incorporated. Accountability and responsibility. Defining accountability and responsibilities are the core of the project manager's task. When defining accountability and responsibilities, the project manager needs to define not only who is accountable, but also who is responsible, consulted and informed for each of the project's deliverables. Stakeholder engagement. Stakeholders can span a broad spectrum. These include but are not limited to the project steering committee, PMO, sponsors, suppliers, government boards, the project team and business owners. The project manager needs to define who the stakeholders are, what their interests and expectations are, and most importantly, how to communicate with them. Stakeholder communication. The communication plan needs to be developed once all stakeholders have been identified and their interests and expectations have been defined. A well-formulated communication plan delivers concise, efficient, and timely information to all pertinent stakeholders. Meeting and reporting. Once the communication plan is identified, the project manager needs to ensure that there is a right balance of meetings and reporting. This ensures each stakeholder understands the mode and content of communication, frequency, owner/receiver, communication milestones, and decision gates. Risk and issue management. At the beginning of any project or program, there needs to be consensus on how to identify, classify, and prioritize the risks and issues. How you handle the risk or issue is more important than the issue itself. Assurance. Project assurance ensures that risks and issues are managed effectively and defines the metrics that foster the delivery confidence of the project. A vital component of assurance is devising the metrics for visibility of future project performance. Project management control process. The monitoring and controlling process has purview of all tasks and metrics associated with the project and programs. It measures performance against the baseline scope, budget, time, and resources. Critical Success Factors, CSFs, defines the activities that must be completed at a high standard of quality in order to achieve the goals of the project. Research explains that critical success factors are characteristics, conditions, or variables which can significantly impact the success of a project when properly sustained, managed or maintained. Milosevic and Potonicol 2005. Researchers also coined the term critical success factor to mean key areas where things must go right for the business to flourish. Project governance success factors are explained below. Project governance must provide a single point of accountability. This ensures clear leadership and timely decision-making while fostering consistency of decision-making through the life cycle of the project. Townsend 2014. Separate stakeholder management and project decision-making. Stakeholder management is a critical component of project management where stakeholders should have the opportunity to raise issues on the project. Kelly 2010. Alignment with organization's governance. An understanding of the project's environment to ensure a right fit with the established organization's governance is a necessary factor which should be met at the onset of the project. Separate project and organizational governance. Though project governance should be aligned to organizational governance to ensure right fit, they must be separate structures. Project governance structures are established specifically for projects as organizational structures do not provide the necessary framework to deliver projects. Projects require flexibility and speed of decision-making, and the hierarchical mechanisms associated within organizations do not foster such requirement. 2 and Weaver 2014. Business strategic fit. Programs and projects should be prioritized to align to strategic business objectives. Once in flight, there should be regular checks made against organizational priorities to ensure that benefits and outcomes being pursued are still relevant. Wheeler 2019. Integrated planning. Ensuring projects are well planned is the foundation for progress reporting, and often sets the discipline for other work streams and projects by integrating plans, tracking dependencies, and efficiencies. Wheeler 2019. Longevity, monitoring, and controlling of the governance plan. The project manager is tasked with ensuring the governance plan is implemented throughout the project. The plan should be monitored and controlled for effectiveness. Impact on performance. A good system of governance is necessary for effective management. It provides the project manager and team with structure, processes, decision-making models, and tools for managing and controlling the project while ensuring successful delivery of the project. Project governance contains a framework for making decisions about the project. It defines roles, responsibilities, and liabilities for the accomplishment of the project, and governs the effectiveness of the project manager. Governance helps organizations to implement an efficient system of risk management. Boards are able to act in the best interest of stakeholders. It helps to reduce scandals and corruption, and it sets a precedence for accountability and ethical leadership. Cadbury 1998. Project governance is a major contributor of project success and performance. It influences project delivery with respect to cost, speed of completion, quality, and financial viability, as it is critical in providing clear organizational structure, effective decision-making structures and control processes. Turn 2006. Babu and Sudhakar ND posits the following about the significance of critical success factors on performance and success of projects. They can reduce organizational ambiguity. Developing and communicating a set of CSFs can reduce the dependency on the perceived aims of the organization. They are more dependable than goals as a guiding force for the organization. An organization can set good goals that, in theory, will move the organization toward its mission. However, if the goals are poorly articulated or developed, this is not guaranteed. CSFs are reflective of what good managers do well to move the organization towards its mission, regardless of the quality of the goals that have been set. They are the essential areas of activity that must be performed well to achieve the mission, objectives, or goals for business or project. By identifying CSFs, you can create a common point of reference to help you direct and measure the success of your business project. They provide a risk management perspective for the organization to consider. The risk perspective of executive-level managers is built into CSFs, so their radar screen is exposed to the organization as a whole. They can be valuable for course correction. When CSFs are made explicit, managers often realize that their perception of what is important to the organization may not match reality, or they may realize that they don't fully understand the current operational climate. Thus, they can use CSFs to realign their operating activities. A major strength of the CSF method is that it takes into account the changing environment with which organizations and managers have to deal with. Determining critical success factors will give organizations a competitive edge and is the bottom line success in fulfilling the responsibility of a project management company. This in turn will give rise to satisfied investors, professional bodies, and make the project management company prosper. Application of concepts to organizational governance strategy. When selecting projects, organizations must ensure that projects are aligned with the organizational direction, ensure resources are being efficiently used, and that there is synergy between projects. Project portfolio management, PPM, is a strategic way of showing the linkage between an organization's vision and a project by placing focus on doing the right project, doing them together, and doing projects right. Altman 2008. Altman also identifies the 5 steps of the PPM process that must be followed in an organizational structure. Step 1. Identify business objectives. An organization has to know where they want to go. Their strategic goals must be clearly defined before starting this process. Step 2. Capture and research. There has to be an intake process for capturing ideas and requirements so they can be analyzed and evaluated. Step 3. Select the best projects. After ideas have been captured, they need to be evaluated against organizational objectives, cost, schedule, benefits, and risks. Step 4. Validate feasibility and initiate projects. Once a project has been selected, the entire portfolio must be validated to ensure that the project is not too large, risky, expensive, or interdependent. Step 5. Manage and monitor the portfolio. Projects should be managed for project change and evolution of new ideas. As stipulated by Graham 2015, there are 6 good practices in organizational governance that are quite similar to the success factors previously presented. Having an appropriate structure. This means that there should be a clear distinction and definition of roles. The chairman should not have the same responsibilities as the CEO. Having an ethical approach. There should be transparency and accountability. There should be a stakeholder-driven decision model. Decisions must be made in the best interest of all stakeholders. This requires an understanding of the potential impact of stakeholders so that ethical decisions can be made. There should be a strategic management process. This means that goals must be set and analyzed. A strategy must also be formed with an implementation and monitoring process. Objectives must be aligned with strategy. Lastly, reporting should be transparent, accurate, and timely. Organizations operate within a competitive environment and projects are ways of delivering innovation or solutions to allow progression. They should be focused on long-term strategic goals, and through the PPM methodology, they can achieve success. This presentation was aimed at finding out the impact of governance, project success, and performance by examining the relationships between governance, the success factors, management, and project performance. Furthermore, it was conducted to discover how the concepts of governance can align or is situated in an organizational environment. The concepts of good project governance has proven to positively impact project performance and success by ensuring the right projects are chosen based on the organization's vision, and that projects are completed on time, within budget, on schedule, with high quality and with little to no change requests and deviations. Project success is also a direct outcome of its implementation or inheritance of a framework and its alignment with an organizational strategy through PPM. Without these elements and others such as accountability, role definition, risk management, communication, etc., there is no viable link to success factors. There is no one way to implement a governance framework, but having a strong structure will guarantee a smooth transition to project success and increase organizational performance.